Ah, crap. I forgot Ultra 7's anniversary. Again. Well, at least I got 7 here.
いいな、どうもるん。だけ世界に7つ導く未来。ウルトラルナデルン。セブンちゃんと呼んでいまするん。よろしくるん。
And with that, everyone, welcome to Ultra Galaxy Chat Episode 4. The show where we talk about the current Ultraman show, which at this time is Ultraman Decker. I am here with my good friend Seven.
Hello everyone.
But today we are here to talk about episodes 7 and 8 of Ultraman Decker, which is famously known as the crossover between Ultraman Decker and Ultraman Trigger.
Yes.
But before we get into that, 7, I like to ask all of my friends before we start the current episode discussion, what were your initial thoughts on Ultraman Decker when it first came out?
Okay, so coming into Decker, it was like kind of weird. The name, obviously, it's a friend of ours in the stranger Discord, so that was kind of neat to getting used to. But overall, and knowing it's going to be a continuation of Trigger, and also quote unquote sequel to virtual successor to Dinah in a way, it's both exciting and scary. But we are pleasantly surprised by what it turns out to be. That's all we can say.
Likewise, I was very
Yeah,
not optimistic about it.
yeah.
But so far, the show has been doing good. Ultraman Decker Episode 7, The Light of Hope from the Red Planet, and Episode 8, Light and Darkness Again. Both written by Ultraman Trigger writer Naoki Hayashi, and I was a bit surprised, but directed by Koichi Sakamoto.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
which I was a bit surprised by that because it didn't feel like a Sakamoto. Usually he goes a lot more
Yeah,
out, like all out for his like directing.
yeah. It was a little. What's the way to call it? It feels like he holds back a little bit.
He wasn't probably bringing his A game because he's probably focused on Ultra Galaxy Fight Part 4.
It's understandable.
So, is it already too early to say that this is probably one of the best crossovers that we've ever gotten from the franchise?
Oh, totally. Yes, it is. I have to say, compared to all the other things that we've seen, though keep in mind we haven't seen much because we just got back into Ultraman really recently. This is probably the best.
Well, likewise, I'll admit I haven't seen everything of it. I've seen all of the new generation. I've seen the original
Mhm.
Ultra 7, like Tiga and Dinah, but everything else is sort of just up in the air at the moment. Like, crossovers aren't a new thing for the franchise. They've been doing them since the
No, yeah,
70s.
yeah. It's kind of synonymous with this superhero genre, really.
Especially nowadays with your multiverses and cinematic universes.
Then get us started on multiverses.
Which that's what the current like ultra shows do. They do like each show's in its own pocket dimension. Thus newcomers can get into any show they want easy.
hmm But if they want to get into more of them, they can view the very long chart of timeline that is probably provided everywhere on the internet.
I remember when I was getting into Ultraman back in like 2014 it was, and someone
Mm.
actually helped me out by making like a chronological timeline for like each pocket universe.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, this is Decker's first ever team up with any other Ultraman, and it's better than what Trigger had with Ultraman Z by a large margin.
A long shot. Yeah.
And I think one of the big reasons for that is that since a lot of the shows are in their own pocket universe. They have to like try and figure out a way of how to get the previous Ultraman into the current universe. But since Trigger and Decker both take place in the same universe, it's easier to write in how Kengo can come help Kanata.
Yeah, it kind of helps to skip all the multiverse timey-wimey bullshit.
Kengo's on Mars with Akito, former Captain Tatsumi, and apparently Sakuma and Nanase are both on Mars as well, but we don't see them. Which it's like, of course, the characters that got zero character development don't end up in the crossover.
Yeah, to be honest, we don't even remember who they were.
They were the other two members of Gut
Yeah, yeah,
Select.
yeah. We know who they are now, but when first watching the episode, we don't remember. Wait, who are those people again?
Mm-hmm. There's only like a few characters that come back. Like, I tallied it all up. There are 7 characters from Trigger that don't show up, but there's like 3 of them that get name dropped. Of course, I already said Sakuma and Nanase, but Mr. Shizuma also gets name dropped. Marlulu didn't get acknowledged. Dargon, Hundra, and Ignis. None of them were even mentioned.
Well, I guess they weren't important enough.
So, what did you think of Kengo in this special?
Well, the first thing that came up when he first appeared was, and well, what not technically when he first appeared, more like when he first transformed into Trigger on Mars. And the only thing that we can think of is now, oh, so now everybody knows your Trigger. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, don't worry, it's a
But
secret. There are people behind you, Kengo. They all saw
exactly,
you.
exactly, and especially that little girl, she's probably still around there somewhere.
Also, Kengo, it's been like 8 years, dude. I think no one would care anymore.
Yeah, right. And plus, you saved the world. I think they won't. They would be appreciative if they know who the face of their savior is.
Like, in a way, he sort of was written better in this crossover than in the
Yeah.
actual show. Kengo feels like he's aged, even though it's only been a year. Like, a year production wise, but in continuity wise, it's been 9 years since
Mhm.
episode Z.
Yes, and that growth is very apparent in the current kingdom. Now that kind of makes you wonder what happened between those 8 years.
I don't think so. It's much like how after Ultraman Leo ended and 80 began, they acknowledged that it's only been 5 years and the world's been at peace. So I guess they're sort of going with that format of the world is at peace, nothing really happened except for some technological advances.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
One thing I am astonished by is that with Kengo and like Yuna shows up in the second part of the crossover, they didn't make them a couple. That sort of
Yeah,
blows my mind a bit. Of like, hang on, the main lead and the female lead didn't end up together.
yes, and that's actually something that we really appreciate and feels very fresh. I guess maybe we can surmise that Yuna ends up with Akita after all.
Yuna mentions Akito, but I feel like it's more of a he's been with me so long I consider him my brother type of relationship.
Yeah, we can say that then, I guess. Yeah, actually, we kind of like that idea of just a group of friends. Doesn't matter if it's a boy or boys or girls. They just become friends and stay friends throughout their life. Kind of like that idea, actually.
So the spheres on Earth decided to regenerate Megalothor into Sphere Megalothor.
To be honest, we can't tell the difference.
It's like, of all the kaijus to bring back from Trigger, you bring back the big bad. It's just like, how did we beat him last time? Big ass cannon. Kengo, how are we gonna beat him? With my ultra friends. Wait, there are others? Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them taught me how to do this silly little dance. I'll definitely say Kengo and Kanata's chemistry on screen was just French kiss. It was that good.
Beautiful.
They balanced each other out so good. Have they explained why Zara looked different?
I I guess they don't. It's like we only think maybe it's the user of the Decker stripe. Who knows? It never explained that.
Yeah, because Kengo mentions like, "Oh, Zara, you look different." Which she has like shorter hair. She's wearing like this shirt now, and I'm like, did you
Yeah,
guys accidentally throw out the original Zara uniform, or was this in the script?
yeah, the first thing we thought of is maybe this is like a different user from Decker's version of the ancient tribe or whatever, but then that doesn't make any sense either.
But yeah, she hands Kengo the dual sword, a weapon that both Trigger and Decker can use.
How convenient.
Oh, this thing can also use hyper keys. That's cool. We ever gonna see them use hyper keys again, or explain why we stopped using them in the first place? No.
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay then. Cards that were given to Kengo, it all are Decker's card, and one of them just so happened to be a sphere card for whatever reason.
Yeah, and thanks to Akito in reverse engineering, Agito made the hyper keys, so it makes sense that he would be able to do the same process with the card, which with the sphere's dimension card, Kengo's able to get past the barrier.
Yeah, that's the little thing that we still kind of don't understand. Like, I mean, it makes sense if the card already has the power of the spheres, but why does Akito have to energy into it? Or wouldn't it make more sense if it was like maybe a blank card and then Akito puts the sphere cells into it and then it has the sphere's power?
That I feel like makes a bit more sense, but I think the problem with that probably just comes down to production. Of we don't want
Yeah,
to make a blank ultra dimension card, even though that would be perfect for collectors. That
that,
doesn't make sense.
yeah, that would have been super easy.
Or I guess like Yuzara already knew what was going on, so they had to just put two and two together.
Yeah, I guess. Just the voice of the universe speaks to us. Let's just do what we have to do.
Speaking of the universe, how fast did Kengo have to go if he went sky type to go from Mars to Earth?
Interesting question because we actually made a calculation for that. If we calculated trigger speed, we like take a rough estimation by considering his time of travel is the same amount of time as that is shown in the episode, like a few, which only took a few seconds. From when he left Mars to when he reached Earth, it would mean he would be traveling around 600 million kilometers per hour.
Damn. Or is this like Star Wars logic where we don't address the concept of time?
That could also make sense.
For all that we know, Kengo's been flying for a week.
But even with that consideration, he would be still flying super fast.
Oh yeah, just breaking all sound barriers in space where there is no
Yeah,
sound.
because according to the Ultra Wiki, which are arguable whether it's believable or not, Sky type is said to have the maximum speed of Mach 7, which is about 8,000 kilometers per hour.
That's faster than the original Ultraman because I think his speed was Mach 5?
Maybe.
Mach 3 or 5, I can't remember. Either way, broken fast.
Very fast.
Did he use the circle arms in this crossover? I don't. I want to say he did when he helped out Decker the first time.
We don't think he do. He just whips out the dual sword right off the bat.
You know what? That sort of makes sense. We gotta promote the new toy. We're not selling that old toy anymore.
Yeah, we remember he actually straight up used the dual sword, whatever it's called already.
The dual sword because they share it, so it's like dual compatible with both of them.
Yeah. That brings up another question from us because if it's meant to be used by both Trigger and Decker, why does the voice from it only from Decker's stuff?
Because in the end, it came out during Decker.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's fair.
and plus, I have a feeling Decker was meant to have it more than Trigger was.
Yeah, that's
Even
fair.
though you need to activate its hyper key to unlock the sword.
Yeah, the only hyper key that will ever be used in the show.
Their dual transformation together was really cool.
So their transformation was pretty cool, and we kind of like seeing it that it kind of, in a way, mirrors each other because Ringo uses his right arm while Kanata uses his left arm. That's kind of cool to see. Like it makes a good contrast between each other.
I also just like that it's not just stock footage of Kengo transforming. Like it's new shots because
Yeah,
he's not
that was
wearing
pretty
his
cool.
gut select uniform.
Hmm.
Kengo, you're here. Wait, how are you here? I've been here on Earth the entire time. How were you able to get a hold of
Yeah,
Mars then? Akito built something. In fact, he was able to bring me here. Then we can bring everyone back? Uh, it
it's
broke.
broken.
He could have just said it was a one-way trip. Or say he was a test subject and like he lost all communications on Earth. This is
Yeah.
the problem with saying, oh, by the way, or BT dubs, I'm Ultraman.
Yeah, and we're also kind of confused by how in every form of media that type of lie always works somehow.
When in doubt, do everything that everyone does to the government. Lie.
Lie.
No, don't lie to the government, people. That's not good. So yeah, with Sphere Megalothor back, both Trigger and Decker try to fight it. Trigger uses the dual sword and finds out the big surprise. Chimera is back.
Cue the Manaka Kengo scream.
Manaka Kengo! Which, like, that makes me question. It's like, wait, how is she alive? Like, how did she get brought back? But I guess with the DNA of Megalothor, from what I understand, she transformed into Megalothor. So I guess a part of her
Mm,
still existed.
yes. Also, while on the topic of Carmira, isn't it kind of weird that Kengo said that she's the only person that he could make smile despite the fact that I think in their final confrontation and like when she dies in his arm, she sounds happy enough to us.
Like, she sounds happy that, like, oh, the light, it's so warm, and then dies. I think he was sad about that. Like, she finally saw the light and how good it was just to die.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But maybe he could have at least give himself credit that at least in her final moment she smiled.
I just feel like it's a bit odd that, like, Kengo, that was like 9 years ago, or not even 9 years ago. That was 11 years ago, bud. You're not over it?
Yes, he got good memories.
Oh, look, Chimera, she is saved. And this wasn't spoiled by a figure art reveal.
Totally not.
It's just, I still love that. Just Glitter Trigger figure art gets announced, and one of the images is from the Decker crossover. It spoiled the ending of the crossover like a few hours before it premiered. It's like, alright, who's getting fired?
Probably one of the interns.
Probably an intern. It is nice to see that some ties to Trigger sort of get wrapped up. Because I say
Mhm.
sort of because like Kengo's flower, Rila, relay. I don't know. It's apparently based on something from Cthulhu mythology.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Like, I've known that since the first episode of Trigger, where I'm watching it with my friend. It's like, that's something from Cthulhu mythology. I'm like, really?
Oh, really? That explains some stuff.
The second part involves, like, this flower that's not Kengo's flower, but it might be from, like, the same seed. Where it's like, oh, back in the ultra
Mm,
ancient times, it was used to cure people in a sense, but it would put them in, like, a confused daze. They would dream their greatest desires, which, according to Kanata, his greatest desire is to take over the rice cracker shop and, like, become really rich.
understandable considering how confused he is at the moment.
But then, like, it's because of Kengo, where he thinks of, like, why do you fight? I don't know, because I can? Good boy.
Yeah, something. It's just it's simple as that.
It would have been nice to see the other members also sort of get, like, caught in the dream. But then that sort of would have ruined it because that would have removed them from the main plot.
Based on the preview for this episode, the dream part felt like it was supposed to be more important, but at the same time, it doesn't.
I feel like that's one of the major problems with both this crossover and with the Zetten reboot crossover. They have good ideas, but they always fail in execution when it comes to the second part. The only team up where I think worked as a two-parter was with Ginga, Victory, and X, mainly because the first part he teamed up with Victory, and then the second part he teamed up with Ginga. Where here it's like,
Mhm.
all right, we got an idea, but how do we get from point A to B in the second part? Which is why the whole flower thing feels a bit out of left field.
Rushed.
But then again, with this being the original writer from Trigger, this could have been something that was meant to be explored more in his show, but because of the mandates that they had to push for Trigger, it got pushed to the sideline.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, thanks to Yuzare, Decker, Miracle Type, they were able to save Chimera. They defeat Sphere of Megalothor with this great freaking trifecta attack. And oh, BT Dubs, Hundra and Dargon are still alive.
Which are good to know. Our boy Dargon is still good and living.
Because that means we get to see those suits again, possibly in Ultra Galaxy Fight 4.
Yes, and this time they're gonna be giants of light, hopefully.
Oh, could you imagine if they got redesigned to look more like proper Ultraman?
Oh, that would be cool.
Like who are you? I'm Ultraman Dargon. But yeah, I'm not sure if Chimera went with Kengo back to Mars or she just used him to get out of Earth.
She probably just got out and went off somewhere to look for,
Like,
humble life in a farm somewhere.
but yeah, Kanis is all like, there is more to fighting after this. It's like, took you long enough to figure that out, didn't you, Kanta? But yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say about the crossover itself because it was just like it is a good crossover, but
Yeah,
once you go over all the notes, that's sort of it.
that's basically it. Yeah, because we're looking back at our notes now. On episode 7, there's a lot of stuff. On episode 8, there's only 3 points. Fight was cool. The fighting choreography was cool.
Oh yeah, because it's Sakamoto. Chances are, if this was someone else, they probably would have just had Trigger stay in multi-type the entire time. Where with Sakamoto, he tries to
Yeah.
give each form enough time to shine.
Speaking about giving each forms enough time, they remembered the trigger has power type.
Yeah, which that was sort of cool. Like Decker goes strong type, Trigger goes power type, They do Miracle and Sky type together. Decker doesn't have a final
Uh-huh.
form yet, so it was sort of just Glitter type base form Decker. But I noticed one of the grunts with Trigger during episode 7 when he found out Chimera was still alive. It sort of sounded like he said no, as in, like, no, I can't believe this.
On the topic of grunts, we just recently noticed that Decker's grunt is actually not just simple schwas. He actually said dia.
Yeah.
Like there's a D in it.
I like that each Ultra has their own distinct grunt. Like even in Return of Ultraman, Jack's grunt is slightly different from the original Ultraman. I think the only one who
Mm-hmm.
didn't have an original grunt was in the Japanese dub of Great, where they just used the original grunts from Ultraman.
Uh-huh.
But then they fixed that later on when he got a different voice actor. I know it's a short episode, people, but that's essentially just it.
We're trying our best here.
We're trying our best. It's hard.
Yeah, it's when half of the episode is just fighting.
Mm-hmm. Like this is what happens when you condense your notes into like a few paragraphs. Because like like even I'm trying to find something and I'm like nothing. I sort of I went over all my notes. Well, okay, there's the
Yeah.
Kanata Ultra Dimension Navi where he talks about multi-type and power type of trigger, which I'm a bit surprised that they both weigh the same of 4,400 tons.
Yeah, I guess that means those muscles are only for show.
They're only for show. They're those muscle arms from SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking.
But until
That's
then,
weird.
that's Ultra Galaxy Chat episode 4, Ultra Friends.
Yee.
Oh, hopefully, I'll see you all next time with another guest and more episodes of Ultraman to talk about. But until next time, schwa for now.
Chua for now.